writing process is there is not one size fits all. There is not a one thing I do. I play all the time. I'm looking for, sometimes it'll be from a title I like, and then I'm thinking about in terms of a movie. Sometimes it could be from a bit of poetry, a line from, I have a title that here's an example. I'm not going to tell you what this title is, but it's been hanging around for 2 years. It's been hanging around for 2 years. I absolutely know it's a wonderful idea. I absolutely know it's a wonderful idea. I just have no idea. I've played with it, kicked around. I'll sit down, I play with it musically, and you can feel when what you're coming up with, if it's, you can feel it. I always think that, the knowledge of what you're doing, whether it's working or not, is not in your head, but it's in your body, because it'll make you feel uncomfortable when you know it's not working. It's not an exact thing. I spend a lot of time over here. I'll have ideas. Ideas will occur. I want to encourage you to write everything down. And I'm sure all of you folks observing this have phones. When you get into that creative space and you get into the improvisational, you're mashing around with an idea, record everything. Because if it's not exactly what you want, it might be something really even more valuable. You have to really be mindful of those beautiful mistakes that you're not paying attention to that might be coming out of you. You're going to sit down and play it. Let's say you're going to play a song for a group of people. Maybe they're family members, maybe they're not. Doesn't matter, okay? But they've agreed to sit in chairs. They've agreed to sit in chairs and listen to you play this song. So they're giving you something very valuable to them. They're giving you their time, right? If you elevate that to maybe people, now you're to the point that people are going to pay money to hear you. So now you have a group of people that are giving you their time and they're giving you their money. And you're going to play them a song, okay? You're going to play them this song. The very fact that they are there paying attention to you, listening to what you're going to do, is asking you a question over and over and over. They are not consciously asking it, but their presence is asking you as a writer one question. And that question, I think, is, why are you telling me this? Why should I sit through this? Why are you telling me this? There is a standard structure in songwriting that people kind of get used to. You have a verse, you have a little intro, you have a verse, you have a chorus. More than likely, the mind, because of the way the structure has been in songwriting, the mind is ready to go back to have you reinforce the verse melody. For me, a bridge is a release. It's a release from this verse chorus. It's going to take you some slightly other place. And by the way, just my opinion, other songwriters may disagree. I don't like the payoff, or I don't like too much information in the bridge. The bridge is a summation sort of what it is, why it is you've decided to write this idea. Also, you come to the place where you realize, I came to the place in I Can't Make You Love Me. At the end of that, it was very clear to Alan and I that that song was finished, that didn't need a bridge. There is no bridge. As a matter of fact, I took it to my publisher, and when I played it for him, he looked at me over his glasses and said, "Where's the bridge?" And I was so annoyed with him that I looked at him and I said, "It's down in Shelby Street. I think there's a bridge down there. Why don't you go jump off it?" I happen to strive. I don't always do it. And when I don't, it causes me some discomfort. I strive in the way the old Broadway guys from the 20s, 30s, and 40s did, which was perfect rhyme. If you go through some of the great theater writers, Stephen Sondheim, I think you would be hard-pressed to find a rhyme that wasn't a perfect rhyme. Rhyme is necessary. It has a long and ancient history. Before we wrote things down, it was how we spoke and what we wrote. It made things easier to remember. So often rhyme is employed. I love rhyming points. We can talk about that at the piano. Points where rhymes are clear and perfect and don't draw attention to themselves and yet drive a point home. I mentioned Sondheim. Here's an example. It's from Sweeney Todd. Young Toby sings to Mrs. Lovett. Nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around. He repeats it. No, nothing's gonna harm you. No, not while I'm around. And then he says, demons are prowling everywhere nowadays. I'll send them howling. I don't care. I've got ways. Now, that's so powerful and so elegant because it doesn't draw any attention to itself. But there's three, in those two lines, there are three rhyming points. And what a rhyme tends to do, internal rhyme, is it moves the line along in a nice little way. It moves the line along. Demons are prowling everywhere nowadays. I'll send them howling. I don't care. I've got ways. Beautiful. Those lines. And not only that, you notice too, even with me and my speaking in my gruff voice, you don't have to work to understand what it means. It's just clear as a bell. Rhymes that draw attention to themselves for the sake of rhyme. I would also say, technically, never, ever choose a rhyme over meaning. Do not confuse your meaning because you are reaching for a rhyme. If you do that, you shoot yourself in both feet, not just one. What we have now in music is driven by rhythm. Popular music it seems the dominant thing in popular music now is rhythm. And when you increase the syllable count in the course of a bar, more words, more syllables in a measure, you're going to, the melody is not going to be able to do a lot of heavy lifting there. Which is why I think, in my mind, you hear some wonderful music today, but it's very difficult to remember any of it. Memory comes from melody, I think. The melody will help you. Ba-da-da-dee, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't even know what those words are. I know it's Danny Boy, you know. So those are some structural things to think about and to bring to bear on the way you write. But I would master those. I would master every rule you knew about songwriting, if for no other reason that you come to the place where what you have to say just will not be contained in that form, then you joyfully break those rules. Very often when you write a song, let's say you've written what you think, it's early on in your writing, and you this is in your mind your magnum opus, okay? And you play it for somebody and they look at you as if you've strangled a puppy in front of them. They don't understand this at all, right? And so you write them off as Philistines and just, they don't get me. That's their problem, right? What's happened here is there are two phenomenons, two realities that have happened, and there are 2 points that are apart, far apart. One point is what your imagination, what you imagined you've done, okay? That's here. Over here is what you've actually written. This is what they've actually experienced. And sometimes these two things can be very far apart. The idea and the reason, the argument for writing, showing up every day, even if it's for a short amount of time, is that to do it every day. You remember I mentioned the Mary Oliver, the beautiful Romeo and Juliet. When you show up faithfully, okay, to that thing that desires to be given voice to, you begin to shorten the distance between these 2 points, okay? And the idea is you shorten the distance so that your imagination is not encumbered by a kind of shoddy, sloppy technique, so that what you imagine is actually what you can articulate. Then if they don't get it. Then you say, well, but this is precisely what I mean. The only defense, folks, you will ever have against the thoughtless, cold, cruel remark, casual remark by a relative, usually about your song, is the only defense you have is that it's exactly what you meant. Generally, the thing that shakes our confidence and makes us angry at when people make mean comments is something inside knows that we need to work harder on this. The only way I've found to shorten those points, right, is you're a writer, and it's what your life is going to be. Might not be what you earn your living doing, but you are a writer, and you're going to continue to write, and you're going to continue to try to shorten the distance between your imagination, what you see in the world, and what you can actually articulate.